do paid trips to Bali and Beyonce tickets have to do with the Supreme Court? Well, those are just some of the disclosures the justices made in their newly released 2023 financial disclosure forms. Now, I know paperwork sounds super boring, and it usually is, but in the years past, these forms from the justices have become very controversial for what was not being disclosed. Those omissions have raised questions about ethics and perceived impropriety and has caused Congress to start to push for a more formal code of ethics for the Supreme Court justices. So let's run through these forms and see where the justices are getting their money. And yes, there are some disclosures from Justice Clarence Thomas in these new forms that were not disclosed in the past. Obviously, the justices get a salary for sitting on the Supreme Court. Obviously, it's a federal government job. As of 2024, the Chief Justice, John Roberts, makes $312,200 a year, and all the rest of the associate justices make $298,500 a year. But the money disclosed on these forms is money they make above and beyond that. So I'll start with Justice Amy Coney Barrett because her form is pretty standard for these justices, so it's a good baseline. You can see she retains her position as an adjunct professor at the University of Notre Dame Law School. You can see her salary from that Notre Dame job, plus her spouse's employment, plus then you see all of these things for travel, lodging, sometimes food, for all of these events that she was speaking at. Then she lists the liabilities or the debts of herself and her family right here on these three lines, what they are, and then their value, which is K. K stands for between $15,000 and $50,000. Then there are all these pages of investment and trust income at varying values. Then on the last page, there is room for the justices to sort of explain what's in this current form or in forms past. So Justice Barrett is a good baseline for you to understand what these forms normally look like. So now that you've seen that, let's look at Justice Clarence Thomas. He disclosed 2 photo albums as gifts valued at $2,000 from this couple. The man here is the founder of an organization in which Clarence Thomas sits as an honorary board member. But what's interesting about Justice Thomas's form is the last page. This is where he discloses 2 trips from 2019 that he has not previously disclosed. Both of those trips were paid for by Harlan Crow, the conservative mega donor who has in the past paid for lavish vacations for the Thomases and even paid Justice Thomas $133,000 for 3 of Thomas's family homes in Georgia back in 2014, which the justice never disclosed. So in this form, he's saying back in 2019, Harlan Crow also paid for, in July of 2019, for 1 day in Bali, food and lodging at a hotel for Justice Thomas, and then again in July of 2019, a couple of days at Crow's private club in Sonoma County, California. Justice Thomas has always maintained that Harlan Crow and his wife are longtime friends, and there is no influence peddling happening. The other interesting disclosure form was from Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. She disclosed that she received 4 Beyonce concert tickets from Beyonce Knowles Carter, valued at about $3,700. She also disclosed that she received 2 pieces of artwork valued at about $12,500 for her chambers. She also disclosed that she got a nearly $900,000 book advance from Penguin Random House for clearly a book that she's going to be writing. Now, before you freak out about that number, understand that all of the justices have a book deal that looks very similar to that. Justice Neil Gorsuch reported that in 2023, in just book royalties from a book he already wrote, he received $250,000. Justice Brett Kavanaugh reported $340,000 just from his book royalties. And Justice Sonia Sotomayor disclosed she received about $87,000 in all in royalties in 2023 from a book she previously wrote. Fun fact about Sonia Sotomayor's disclosure form, she also disclosed that she was paid about $1,900 right here for a voiceover job she did in an animated series playing herself on the PBS show Alma's Way. Fun fact, Justice Brett Kavanaugh also disclosed that he is a basketball coach for 5th and 6th grade girls at a Catholic school in Washington, D.C. Chief Justice Roberts and Justice Kagan have pretty standard forms, and Justice Samuel Alito has a 90-day extension to file his form, which he does every single year. So if you want to read these financial disclosure forms for yourself, I will email them out to you tonight in my Newsgirl News Roundup email, so make sure you sign yourself up.